What's one thing I choose to do differently than my parents?
I got beat one time for not wanting to eat my pizza at a restaurant.
Had she gave me more of her experiences, I feel like I would have made better decisions.
This is what's important. You gotta stop and hug once in a while.
You all in my mental, can't even stress though, baby. I took me a break, yo, but something was meant though, baby. I never wanna break your heart, meant that from the start. Know you love so hard, your love is so special, baby.
What's one thing I choose to do differently than my parents? I'm gonna say my mom because I wasn't raised with my dad.
Come out and say it.
I guess the one that sticks out the most heavily, and this is something I used to complain about a lot, me not being afraid to show my emotions with my child. I never really used to have my mom say like she loved us or not really like give much hugs and stuff. So it wasn't really like affectionate. And I feel like I don't know if I'm like overcompensating my lack of affection, that I'm putting it on heavily on my kids, but I mean that's just how I am. Like I like hugs and I like kisses. Not from everybody, because the thing is I don't want nobody randomly hugging me, I don't want nobody randomly kissing, but I can give it to my kids all day because I felt like I needed that.
I just had like an aha moment about you.
Why? You always want to have an aha?
Nah, yeah. Like I've always known this about you, but it's not until you said it now, all these years later, it makes sense why you say I love you to me so much. All I thought about was the very first time you said I love you, you would not shut up. And even now today, you say it every 10 minutes and it doesn't annoy me.
Like I used to be like, Mommy, I love you. You know what she used to say?
What?
I love me too. And I don't know if it's like a Caribbean thing or she just was like afraid of just like showing. I don't want to say she's afraid because like that's her journey, that's her life. Maybe she just didn't know how to express it. But instead of being like, yeah, I love you too, Tasha, it's always like, I love me too.
For me, it's support. Growing up, my Caribbean parents were super hardworking, like always working, but I never had support in any of the things I was interested in. It was there in the beginning stages, like in elementary school. Like my mom would be there to cater for the birthday parties and do the decorations, even like host birthday parties, like all that other stuff. But when it came to the things that I love to do, the support wasn't as strong as I was looking for. Prime example is basketball. As you all know, I love basketball, I love playing it. The most I got was a drop off to practice and games, but my parents never actually watched my games. And that's huge for me. Now, on my days off, I look forward to going and taking Sage to his gymnastics class because like I want him to see I'm there to support any and everything that he wants and needs. He's showing signs that he likes to play soccer. I'm like, awesome, let's go outside and play soccer. Let's watch soccer on YouTube. Like, you're going to get these skills. Yeah.
What's the next thing?
The next thing?
Yeah, you said you had two.
Oh, physical discipline.
You said get beat a lot?
No. But I did get beat for stupid things. I got beat one time for not wanting to eat my pizza at a restaurant. My dad took me outside to the parking lot and beat me, bro. Like, you gonna eat this damn pizza?
I don't remember my mother being like the one that used to beat. Like she used to want to be like, I'm gonna beat you or no? But then her hits never used to like hurt. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, that didn't do anything. I used to have to pick my own stick and like,
I had to do that once,
like,
bro.
pick it, and then if you pick it, it wasn't big enough. Like, make sure you get a bigger one. Like, you really want me to choose the whipping that I want to get? Another one that I was thinking about, and possibly two, religion. I grew up heavily in Seventh-day Adventist church, and not only was like in the church, like I was in the church going to Sabbath school, Pathfinders the most, but I feel like I wasn't really like properly educated. It was just like, this is where we go and this is it. Like, I have no knowledge of anything. I mean, granted, obviously we have our own like spiritual beliefs and what we do to like be grateful for life and all that stuff, but as far as like, oh, you wake up and we're praying every morning, or we're doing this, or we're going to church and all that stuff, like I don't do that at this moment. And I feel like growing up with my mom being so heavily, not my mother, my grandmother, being so heavily like influenced in the church kind of like pushed me away and say like, you know what, I need to find my own path to be able to teach my kids a completely different way. And I don't know what that way is. I'm just still learning and figuring it out. So I can't teach nobody something that I don't really know for myself. And another one, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. My mother was so hands off with me. She would let me make my own decisions, and I feel like had she gave me more of her experiences, I feel like I would have made better decisions. I didn't have that guidance.
Mentorship? Guidance?
Yeah, like guidance to be able to say like, you know what, this, I don't think you should do this, instead of just being like, well, you gonna, who don't hear those feelings. I feel like now I am more encouraging to share my personal experiences, so my kids can be able to say, you know what, my mom is human too, and this is what she experienced, and now I know how to make a decision going forward, instead of like letting them go blind. It's like sex and your vagina and all that stuff. I didn't know nothing about that. I know nothing about like my reproductive history or just like any of that. Like I just like, I remember the first time I got my period, I just knew that people put pads on, and I just went and did it. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just figured this shit out on my own. It's a loaded question, and it's a loaded question. I hope we answered the question.
I love these. Ask all the questions. I'm down to answer them all.
So, all right. Peace.
Peace.